this fabulous video can be all dedicated to my stupidness. Like, I just went in there to get batteries in my kitchen, and so I looked in my drawer and I didn't see any AA batteries. Well, I didn't think I saw any AA batteries. So then I went up to my dad and I said, "Is it so hard to have AA batteries?" And he goes, "I could have sworn we had AA batteries." And I said, "No, we don't. Go look." So then he went in the drawer and looked. And so then he like started pulling out packs and packs and packs of AA batteries, and he goes, "Here, we have tons of AA batteries." And I go, "No, we don't." And I grabbed a pack, and then so I said, "Since when does double become 4? And so I showed him, because it had 2 big A's, capital A's, and it had a little 4 beside the 2 A's. And he goes, "That 4 is, it means like that they were 4 in the pack." And I was like, "Oh." And then another time with my friend Jessie, I swear to God, we say the stupidest stuff together. I was over at her cousin's house. I think I still remember this whole story. Oh my God, it was so funny. But, and, okay, so they were showing some video of some girl, and she was like from North or South Carolina. Yeah, it was South, yeah. South Carolina, and she was on a beauty pageant, and you know how they ask all these things, like, well, what would you do to change the world? And they always give those, well, I'd help the hungry in France. It's like, you know how they always give those stupid answers. Well, her cousin was showing her mom one of those videos, and she had a Miss North Carolina or South Carolina banner going across. And then so I was walking outside to the car with Jessie, and I go, "Was her name South Carolina?" And she goes, "No, unless she was Miss South Carolina." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so she goes, and she just started laughing at me, and I go, "Well, you never know. One day 2 old people could have been just sitting on the porch, and the woman could have said, 'Honey, I think we ought to name our daughter South.' And the man could have said, 'And why is that, honey?' and she would have said, 'Because our last name is Carolina, and then she could be South Carolina, and then we could move to South Carolina, and then she could be Miss South Carolina.' And they'd say, 'Honey, what's your name?' And she'd say, 'South.' And they'd say, 'What's your last name?' And she'd say, 'Carolina.' And then they'd say, 'Oh, so your name is where you represent.' And he'd say, 'Yes.' I mean, she'd say, 'Yes, sir.' And we burst out laughing because I just like came up with that off the top of my head. And there's so many other stupid things that I've done, but this video would be like a million minutes long, and I can't even think of anything right now besides that. Honey, I think we should name our daughter South. And she still makes fun of me. You know, we still laugh at that. And then we got back to her house, and we were gonna write a script for the following of what's gonna come next. And then she did something that pissed me off, and I was like, "No, Jessie, let me write it. I was the one who said it. I should know how to write it." And then it just kind of ruined the whole joke. But yeah, I tell that so many times now, but it's hilarious.